Live on YouTube and Google+, it's Pageant Live. This is the place for glamour and style. Get great pageant tips you won't find anywhere else. Find out what you need to know before your next pageant. Post your questions and comments for our panel during the show. Learn great ideas about all aspects of pageantry. Here we go. Pageant Live starts right now.
Hi, my name is Wendy Russo. Welcome into Pageant Live. I'm really excited because today we're going to be talking about how to win and capture a national crown. Many of you may already have won your state crowns. Now you're thinking ahead. You're thinking, how am I going to take it to the next level so that I can actually be the national title holder? You can accomplish so much in your state, but imagine how much more you can actually accomplish on a national level when you hold that title. So with us today, we have a lot of people and fantastic guests who actually have the national crown, but we also want to introduce Pageant Live's owner and producer, Pamela Prevette. Hi, Pamela.
Hi everyone, and I want to welcome you very much to Pageant Live. I want to let everybody know that we have a strong male following in Pageant Live. Does that shock you with all these beautiful women? And we have named them Pageants. So hello to our Pageants. Thank you for watching. Keep on sharing and telling everyone about Pageant Live. I want to welcome everyone. What I'd like to talk to you about real quick is, I don't know if everybody knows, but I work in Washington, D.C., and on Monday, after, of course, the bombings in Boston, all the phone lines were jammed up. So we were like, oh my gosh, is there something else going on? Well, anyway, the reason I'm saying this is it got me thinking, we're going to have an international Queens this weekend at a special time. So we'll be putting that out. And Steph and I hung out with these international queens. And what I really want to tell you is these women were talking about things like human trafficking in their backyard, and they can't say certain things on Pageant Live because the government will take their title from them.
I believe it.
Yeah, and what it made us think about is I was so happy to be an American and be able to I can pretty much well say what I want, and I'm protected. But what I'm saying is but one thing that was very interesting to Stephanie and I is that these women, their crown was everything to them because it helped them do their work. So, I mean, there is a common thread there, and I was just blown away by it, thinking, you know what, I cannot believe, obviously we're not going to have anyone say anything that's going to get them in trouble. We respect everybody, whatever, your wishes are. We are positive. We're all about positive in Pageant Live. But it was really, really interesting. They were talking about country famine, human trafficking, the coral reef, and I was like, whoa. I mean, don't get me wrong, our queens, they cover some pretty heavy things too, raising charity, but the point is to you that I'd like to make to you is that the crown allows the women, these women, young women, to bring in money to charity. And I got to tell you, you guys do not receive the recognition that you deserve. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you to our viewers. And go ahead, Wendy. Thank you very much for hosting, and thank you, Amanda, for co-hosting.
Thank you, Pamela. That's a very good point. And a lot of people do question the validity of pageantry, and I agree with you that it gives young women in particular the spotlight to be able to not only articulate what their beliefs and their passions are, but also to make a difference, so on a grander scale. So thank you for that. Now with me today, I'm really excited to announce my co-host, who's Amanda Mathis, Miss Royalty International. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, thank you, Wendy, and hello, everyone. So happy to be here tonight with Wendy and, of course, all of the wonderful guests. And I also wanted to thank the viewers on here for checking out Pageant Live's website. Just so you know, we have gotten over 50,000 hits in the short amount of time that we have been on the new website has been up.
That's a lot.
I know, it's crazy.
Also, when you're visiting the website, be sure to stop by Ask the Crown. We have a lot of great questions and answers posted, and also feel free to post comments as well. If you have a pageant-related question, please send it to askthecrown@gmail.com.
Very good point. Now, we also have a pageant showcase page that highlights some really fantastic pageant systems. So if you're searching for a pageant system, there's an entire list. And by the way, directors, if you're interested in advertising your system on here, you can very easily do that for free on our page. So just email at pageantlive.com. Really simple. So Amanda, let's also talk about our sponsors. What do you think?
Oh, of course, of course. We know sponsors very well in the pageant world. I wanted to thank Pageant Live sponsor Royal Bliss. They have a gorgeous selection of pageant gowns, prom dresses, swimwear, shoes, and accessories. Click on Royal Bliss's link on the Pageant Live website or visit them at www.royalblissboutique.com.
Thank you for that note, because everyone's always trying to figure out where to get the best pageant gown. It's not that easy sometimes, and if you live somewhere farther away, it's harder to find a pageant shop, right? Now, we're really excited because we have a brand new Pageant Live sponsor, and if you love makeup, oh my word, Skull Sugar Cosmetics is based out of Portland, Oregon, and they offer a complete line of natural, cruelty-free, hypoallergenic makeup. It's free of parabens, talc, any kinds of fillers. So if you really want to have natural, beautiful makeup, you're going to love this line. And they also offer really high quality, highly pigmented makeup, which means, you know, when you're competing, you worry about that your makeup kind of comes off as you're competing throughout the day. You will not find that to be a problem here. So whether you're using their shadows, their primers, the liners, the foundations, you're going to find that they're long lasting. They really stand up to the heat and perspiration. Because we know sometimes we're up there, we're glowing a little bit. And you can just really go on to Skull Sugar's link, which is on the Pageant Live website, to look at all the products there. I highly recommend it. You can enter Pageant20 as a promo code too. So guess what? 20% off. How about them apples? And I know that Pam and Stephanie are wearing those products this evening, aren't you gals?
Oh, they are fabulous.
They are. I love them. And I even brought to show you tonight the lip color that I have on in Cherry Poppin'. Love it. Gorgeous. And I also am wearing the shimmer powder.
Where do you put that, Stephanie? Where do you put the shimmer?
You know, I put a little bit of the shimmer right on my lower lid and upper lid. And I love it. And I don't know if you can see on here, but it's so sparkly, so beautiful.
Pretty. Can you put it on your body, do you think, or is that too much?
You know, I suppose you could.
I'm
It's
just
gorgeous.
checking.
Sparkly, I bet you could. I bet you absolutely could. And then I also have Tipping Point shimmer powder.
Ooh.
I love all the products, and I'm looking forward to getting more. And you know, they're so luxurious, and I can tell a difference from what I have been wearing. You know, it just seemed like a lot of my makeup I had to keep dipping the brush in to put it on, and then it wasn't staying. But I love Skull Sugar. These products are amazing.
I like the name.
I know it is a unique name, isn't it? It's one that's hard to forget.
I like the poppin'. And you know, too, Stephanie, Jamie actually said you can put water in that and it becomes eyeliner. And many of the products you can actually use on your lips, your eyes, as eyeshadow and as eyeliner.
And I think you can turn some of it into nail polish too. So it's so versatile.
gosh.
Amazing.
Multitasking, girlfriends. Now, Amanda, what if people want to contact us? What do we do?
Well, you also want to tweet us at Pageant Live, and you can also post it on Pageant Live's Facebook page, and you can also, of course, go on our YouTube page as well, Pageant Live.
Now, we're going to introduce some of our national title holders. Of course, we have Miss Stephanie McGrain here. She's the ultimate queen. Hold on. Look at the red crown. No one else has a red crown. Can we all bow to the royalty before us? Now, let's go. Here she is, International Super Ms. Woo!
Woo! Yay! Thank you, Wendy. Hello, everybody. I'm Stephanie McGrain, and like Wendy said, I'm International Super Miss for America's Super Pageant, and very excited to be joining you this evening.
And Stephanie, this system is relatively new. Can you just tell everyone at home a little bit about the system?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Janet Beer is the director, and she is based out of Hamilton, Montana. And as a matter of fact, we're looking for contestants to join us at the National Pageant in June 21st through the 23rd. And the pageant's platform is seatbelt safety. So we're looking for ladies of all ages to who want to make a difference, who want to get involved and promote the seatbelt safety message and help save lives.
Now, what is the International Super Ms. title that you have and that fabulous red crown?
Oh, so excited for the red crown. And Wendy, I have you to credit for that. If you don't know, I had the opportunity to work with Wendy Russo as my coach in preparing for this title. And I give her all the credit for the very reason why I'm wearing this red crown tonight. So,
but what does it mean? It means what in the scope of the pageant?
It is the overall highest person who had the most points. So we competed in 5 areas of competition. We competed in swimsuit, photogenic, evening gown, little black dress, platform introduction, and interview. And adding all of the scores up, and also we had an opportunity to earn extra bonus points by promoting seatbelt safety. And when all of those points were added up, I had the highest overall score and was crowned International Super Ms.
And you were kind of lucky because you got crowned first as the missus, and then they actually took the crown and crowned someone else and gave you the better crown.
They did, and at first I didn't even know it was happening. They called us, 3 of us, back up to the center stage, and then before I knew it, I was passing along the Mrs. crown to receive the international crown. So very excited. And I can't believe how fast the year has gone by, and I'm already preparing to give up the title and pass it along.
I know, because I already told her that she needs to be able to fit in that gown again.
That's
okay.
Right. Working very hard to do that.
You go, girl. Now, I want to ask you, for everyone watching, what do you feel was the winning combination for you to win and capture that higher title?
Absolutely. Well, you know, Wendy, I totally credit this to you. I think it's so key to find an honest coach, someone who knows what they're doing, not someone who decided, oh, I think pageant coaching might be kind of fun. But you need someone who has a proven list of winners, someone who knows what they're doing and can be honest with you, maybe things that you can't see that you need to improve yourself, or that your friends or family can't see or won't tell you. I know that I worked so hard. I worked hard in every area of competition, and Wendy helped bring me forward in all areas to win that crown. So I think preparing far enough in advance, and you know, really being able to being willing to do what it takes to win that crown and work hard. And Wendy, you've told me this before, that the crown goes to the girl who works the hardest.
Yep, and who wants it the most. Although
Right.
I worked hard and I wanted crowns and I never seemed to get a national crown, so maybe I need to find a good pageant coach.
No, Wendy, you are the best. And you know, and that just, again, you know, pageantry, not everything, it's a pageant. I'll just put it that way, it's a pageant.
That's right. I always say it goes up to the pageant gods. So my philosophy is you work hard to be your best in every category, and then from there it's the pageant gods.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right.
Now, in terms of preparation for your pageant, would you be able to give somebody just a couple of tips as to how to win that higher title?
Absolutely, I sure would. I think first and foremost, what the judges are looking for at America's Super Pageant is for someone who is passionate about the pageant's platform of seatbelt safety. They are looking for someone who will promote that throughout their reign. I think it's important to be passionate about that platform, to decide how it is that you are going to promote it. Come up with a creative, unique way, something different to promote that. And you know, really stand out to the judges, share that, and share your passion with them. I think that will go a long ways.
And what did you do to separate yourself from everyone else in promoting your platform?
Absolutely. You know, I did a lot of collecting of signatures on a Buckle Up pledge. I spoke to people around my state. I educated them about seatbelt safety, talked to them about it, shared my personal story of surviving a life-threatening car crash. I also was working with a committee who was promoting a Buckle Up Teens television commercial challenge. So just looking at all different ways to get the word out there.
So it's about being creative and resourceful in finding those opportunities, because that is a very good point, Stephanie, because I can point you in directions, and I would work with you and say, Stephanie, we got to find some opportunities, and I would search a little bit to give you ideas, but it's really up to you to take the ball and run with it in terms of making the appearances and finding them in your local area so you can make an impact and be able to include that on your paperwork and obviously verbally in your introduction and also an interview. So you obviously did a great job.
Thanks to you. That's right. So everything that you're doing far in advance, you know, the appearance that you're making today, you know, will go on your bio. You might talk about that in your interview. So everything that you're doing really ties in, and you really have to think about everything that you're doing and you know, be able to market yourself in the best possible way to the judges, and you know, share that passion that, you know, you are the one to, you know, share about seatbelt safety and get people to, you know, excited to buckle up.
So good point. So you're really talking about living and breathing the platform of the pageant, and that's really important. I will say this, I've never coached that system before working with you. As far as I knew, it hadn't even existed before. So primary thing that I'm going to say to everybody who is looking to win a national title is, number one, you have got to find out the mission statement of the pageant. And so if the mission statement is, and the purpose of the pageant has a certain platform, that needs to become part of your platform and your activities and your appearances. And I also think that each system has an identity, and each system has an identity of what kind of queen they're looking for and what kind of representative. So it's a good idea for you to look back up to 5 years prior, see what the queens were doing, wearing, how they carried themselves on stage, and really research that system so you can identify what were those winning factors that carry through over the last few years. When it's a brand new system, clearly there's no reference and no guide. So then, Stephanie, you're the trailblazer.
Woohoo! I like that. That sounds good to me.
Now we also have with us Amanda Mathis, and Amanda Mathis is the current reigning national queen for the Miss Royalty International system. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Wendy.
Well, tell everyone your secret to success, because I know this is your second time going to that system.
I actually also credit all this to Wendy as well, because she is my coach. And without her, I definitely wouldn't have been a winner this year, because last year I placed second runner-up. And I credit her because we really fine-tuned my interview, which is the largest part in this pageant system. So by having her, you know, drill me about, well, the tie downs and what's my story, and to relate it and to make it important and to have a connection with the judges is something that I think could never thank you enough, because it'll help me pass pageants.
Amanda, excuse me, you said tie downs. What is that?
Tie downs is actually something I learned in my mock interview. It is like you tie it down to yourself. You want to make that connection between yourself and what you're talking about. Like, my platform is autism awareness, so I have to right away say, I do this because my cousin's on the spectrum. And, you know, one of the first questions I got in my interview was, oh, is this person your favorite, is your most influential person because of her work with autism? Yes, because I can relate to her stories because my cousin. So the tie down is what really automatically makes the judges want to pay attention to you more, because you have that connection.
Good point. So what she's saying is, in interview, what I found with Amanda is that her paperwork was giving some great facts, but then when you asked her about it, she wasn't always applying it to the why. And so it was a matter of finding for her voice and being able to tie every fact down to the why. Why was that important to her? Why autism? Why did she help support a state Heroes Day and create this Heroes Parade? And I found out a lot of things about Amanda that I didn't know from her paperwork and that she didn't tell me early on. So sometimes it's a mining and excavation project when I'm working with some of these girls, because it seems like nobody seems to know what their gifts are, which is why I think it helps to have another look. And to me, a good pageant coach is somebody who is willing to excavate and really find out who you are, and not just take your paperwork and say great job and change this word and change that word. I never take someone's paperwork at face value. I'm going to take the initial paperwork, and then I'm going to interview you about the whys, because the whole reason for you and why are you special, it's the whys, and it's your story. That's what I think is the key between Stephanie winning her national pageant and Amanda winning her national pageant, is the whys behind it, which is who they are and why are they passionate about the subjects they're passionate about.
Excuse me, Wendy. We have a shout out from our pageants.
Oh boy!
Yeah. Marvin says hello, ladies. And
Hi, Marvin.
And Brad from Tech Webcast. Shout out to him.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Sorry.
And what about Paul? I thought Paul's also a big shout out.
Oh, he's a big pageant. He's there. Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Paul.
Say hi, Steph, to Paul.
Hi.
And Mario and Jack and Pat.
Hi, everybody. It's Keisha.
I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, it's really nice to get so many people interested, and we're always welcome to your questions even before we've even talked about topics. I think that would be great, too, if people have questions before we even begin shooting. But let me just mention to Pamela. Pamela, are we going to be interviewing Mrs. World?
She is having technical difficulties. That's one thing about Google Plus. It is free. It's a great platform. It's the Wild West. We're still it's about a year and a half old, and so we're still, sometimes people have difficulties. So unfortunately, she's not going to be able to make it. She's trying desperately to get on, but she cannot get on. So
I understand that.
So sorry, April.
Well, I'll continue on just mentioning what I have found in coaching clients for national pageants is that, the winning combination to me is discovering who you are, being very clear on what your message is, having your stage performance at its top level, and that means working with someone on your walking, or maybe it's finding videos that are going to help you. I know that pageanthelp.com is a great website too. I bought a video from them, and really helped me with walking and also watching people's interviews. So my suggestion is being at the top of your game, being the best at each category, but particularly your weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses is your thighs, that should be a major thrust of your preparation, is doing your walking lunges, doing your diet. And I know a lot of gals think they know how to eat well. I'm here to tell 99% of you that you do not know how you need to be eating for these competitions, because there's a lot of myths and fallacy around food and the lack of food. I think you should be eating every 3 to 4 hours and fueling your body with healthy, clean proteins and carbs, and that's another story. But find out what your weaknesses are, hone those, improve on them, make them better. And Amanda, what do you think? So you said that interview was your weakest link, Amanda, and so you worked on that. What else did you do in your preparation to make sure that you captured the title this year?
Well, I definitely think capturing the title this year was, taking in what I had done previously and really making it more about me, and also having a fabulous outfit to model, which was really fun because we get to do fun fashion wear, an evening gown on stage. And so feeling confident on stage, and you helping me perfect my walk, making sure my shoulders were back, that I always smiled, or that I was having fun and not stressing about tripping or getting my heel stuck, which did happen.
Oh, no.
But, I can fake it a good smile now because I have been confident enough that I know that if I trip and fall, that I can just get right back up.
Good point. And also practice, 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 right? Didn't you practice a lot your fashion fun wear routine?
Oh, a lot.
Okay, wait a minute. I hear you guys talking about prepare. So when you say that you were preparing for your fashion walk and different things, so Wendy, what is prepare? 2 weeks is preparation for some people.
Well, very good point. And I do think it depends on the level of experience that you have. If you're somebody who's competed many, many, many times before, perhaps walking isn't going to take as long. If you're somebody starting out, I know that for me, walking was one of the hardest things, and it took me, I think you need some time to really feel like you can own it so that you come out there and you can rock it without looking like you're thinking in your head. You know, some people you can see them kind of going through the steps in their head. And the best thing is I like a lot of preparation time. I think that Amanda and I kind of, because of the prior year, I knew she could handle the walking, but we came up with a different routine based on her gown, because I think that your walk changes based on your train, based on if you've got a high-low, you know, what your outfit is, the look of the outfit is going to change the energy. Right, Amanda? I mean, last year we had a totally different fashion fun wear outfit.
Yeah, last year I had such an amazing dress. I absolutely loved it. And we stuck to another high-low this year because I had a high-low last year, because you can really play with the dress and you can really add a lot more movement to it. And you just felt so much fun on stage by whipping that at the judges and giving them attitude.
Yeah, we worked on, so what we worked on is we had her put on the outfit, because I think that's really important to kind of simulate the environment of doing a pageant ahead of time, and came up with the walk, and really it was a matter of trial and error to see what Amanda could do. I'm like, Amanda, can you do a spin there? Yeah. And then we'd see like how naturally she could do it, and I'm like, all right, what if you walked this way and did a spin in the center? All right, what if you swung that and threw your, you know, what if you threw your skirt a little bit? So, and then I'd tell her, okay, do it again, but this time with more attitude. So I'm watching all the time to just kind of see what little tweaks and changes can we make so that it looks flawless on stage.
Mm-hmm. Wendy, also one thing I have seen before, and bless these women come out and have not worn their 5-inch heels, and they put them on the day of the pageant, and you can clearly see they are not practiced in those shoes.
Very true. One trick I'll give everybody is, if you are new on your shoes, you can buy two 2x4s, put them all in a row, and put your shoes on, and every day walk forward, walk back on them, so that you're actually learning how to walk a line. Because the other thing is really learning how to one foot in front of the other, and that's going to help to guide you, and you're going to have to learn to balance yourself. A lot of, to me, a lot of pageantry is learning balance on your shoes. And so your anchor foot, which should be your rear foot if you're standing in a T stance, right? If your feet are like that, you've got to be putting the majority of your weight on your back foot and just lightly tapping your front foot, so that your knee is bent and you're relaxed there, but you're anchored, so you're never tottering or teetering or unsure on your feet. And this is all stuff, if you're new to pageantry, you should definitely be practicing this months before your pageant. We can see the difference between you just throwing these shoes on and going out on stage, and you really feeling like they've melded with you and created one. Like, if you are one with your shoe, we're not noticing your walk. We're noticing you. I try to get rid of affectations to walks. I don't like them myself. And I know with Stephanie, we worked on relaxing your walk and allowing you to be more natural, right?
Right, we did. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And you did a great job. Like, your swimsuit to me was flawless. You just really had, and we worked on your marks, where you're going to stop, and ending strong. To me, stage presence is about coming out strong with confidence, with personality, with eye contact, but also landing strong and moving strong, like giving some real defined, instead of some, do you ever see some people walk up, they're like, I guess I'll stop.
Right. Right.
And so really coming up with, nope, you're going to land here, you're going to land there, and you know which arm's going up. You've got it all pre-planned so that you're not thinking about it, right?
Absolutely, and you can tell ladies that are up on stage. Then they decide, well, maybe I'll put this arm up or not. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah.
And we worked on that. We worked on it a lot, and exactly how to stand. When you stop, how are you going to stand? In evening gown too, we practiced the flip with the train, and I mean, it was we did a lot of practicing, and it made a difference.
Yeah, it's not just showing up on the stage with your train and deciding, oh, maybe I'll hold my train up now.
Right, exactly.
Most of the time when I see somebody come out, and I hate it when people are holding their train when they're walking out, to me the train is meant to be flowing, and then at the end you can touch it. But in a gown, it's one thing fashion fun wear, but a gown, I just feel like you shouldn't be flying it over your head like a Superman cape. Well, Amanda, let me ask you a little bit about your platform. You had mentioned about autism, and I know there's a lot of gals out there who may have a similar platform. What are some of the things that you've done to help promote your platform?
With autism, I've been doing it for I don't know how many years, ever since my cousin got diagnosed. I have helped with different special needs for Santa, which is really amazing. It's at the Holland Center. And it's where they have a Santa that is in a separate room away from any distraction, because I bet you all know at Christmas time how loud the mall is with Santa. And kids with autism get very distracted and get very nervous, and they kind of just shut down, or they might be self-harming. So the way that they set it up there is they have kid-friendly movies, they have games, they have gluten-free treats for the kids to eat, and then individually the child and the parents go in, and if it takes them a few tries, they're perfectly okay with that. And they give you a treat after. I actually do a lot of 5Ks with autism, one actually have coming up next month, which I'm super excited about. And then I also do so much with Toys for Tots as well, and then also with the Twin Cities Heroes Parade for military.
Yeah, can you explain a little bit about the Heroes Parade?
The Twin Cities Heroes Parade was last summer, and it was the first of its kind. And it was to welcome home post 9/11 veterans. And we actually had a huge sign that everybody signed to give to a special group that just came home. And we had veterans from many different wars, and it was in St. Paul. And I had actually gotten, I think it was 19 cities around to declare Twin Cities Heroes Weekend. I also had gotten the governor from Minnesota to declare a Twin Cities Heroes Weekend as
fabulous.
Well. And, thank you. And I also had gotten, it's a huge bridge in the Twin Cities. It's a 35W bridge. I got them to light it up red, white, and blue that whole weekend.
That's so fun. Now, Amanda, so were you a co-planner of this whole parade?
Yes, I was. I was on the planning committee. So having the connection with my life, with having so many people in the military and being veterans and having a lot of friends in it, it really something that touches me dearly. And sometimes I do get emotional. Me and Wendy have discussed that. Lots of with that. So by being on the planning committee, it really just helped so much. And it really gave me so many new opinions. And I was so more than happy to be on that. It was a wonderful experience.
I think it's amazing the kind of impact that made, and I love how you light up the bridge, and you also lit up the bridge blue for Autism Awareness Day, didn't you?
Yes, I got the same bridge lit up blue for a whole month, and then I also got the governor's mansion lit up blue as well, and that actually just happened on April 1st this year as well. And I also had gotten the marquee outside of the Metrodome, which is where the Vikings used to play, to display autism facts for a whole month. So they had about 5 different facts that they would alternate. And they also lit up another building in downtown blue as well.
Well, you're giving a lot of title. I know, isn't that amazing?
Wow, that is.
That is.
Impressive.
Now you're giving a lot of title holders ideas, because as a title holder, you got a lot to live up to after Miss Royalty International 2013. So it's good that you're giving everybody so many ideas for what you've already done. You just won your title, what was it, a month and a half ago?
Yeah, March 10th.
You've done a lot, girlfriend. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Well, this has been very entertaining but also informative, and I wanted to know if, Pamela, do you have any other questions for us that we could answer for people watching?
Oh yes, I have one thing. I have another pageant gentleman that says it's Love from Marble 1. He wants to give a big shout out to Mrs. World, and she is actually contacting me via Facebook and saying that she will be coming back on. So happy for that.
Oh, good.
I do have something to tell you. I was watching on Ustream, I was watching a pageant this weekend, and I won't necessarily say which one it was, but there was like 3 young women who froze on stage. So what would you give advice to someone when that happens and that they just literally froze? Bless their heart. I understand, the pressure and stuff, but I mean, you still have to work through that on stage. So what advice could you give those people who happen to freeze?
Are you asking me or one of the gals?
That's you, all of you. I mean, I saw it. My heart went out to them,
Well, I'd say, unfortunately, I would guess that those 3 maybe didn't have a hands-on pageant coach, because I can't imagine that any of my girls would do that, because we actually, before a pageant, I run my clients from beginning to end of the pageant. So they come out in their introduction outfit or their opening number outfit. We have them come out. I actually pretend like they're going to announce themselves like they do in their pageant. They go off. They change an interview suit. I mock them in interview. We change them into fashion fun wear so that they're literally feeling like they're running through a pageant. And preparing mentally is really important. So I think having support of people around you and really fully having prepared is going to help eliminate that problem. But Stephanie, maybe you have an idea.
I agree with you. And my first thought was, if you're freezing on stage, you probably haven't practiced and prepared as much as you should have. So at that point, I feel like it's a little late, but before your next competition, I think it's so important to make sure you are 110% prepared and practice. And then I don't think that will happen. It's so important to be prepared.
What about you, Amanda? Could you give any advice?
I can definitely say that before I had Wendy, that has happened to me. So I feel for them. It happens to the best of us. And ever since coaching with Wendy, she has prepared me so well that I can literally, when I'm going to sleep, like a week before the pageant, I am going over questions that they could possibly ask me. I am just, thinking through it completely. And the level of preparation is crazy. Like when I relate it to people, I relate it to a sport, because it can take years to prepare for something. Right. And preparing for, like Wendy said, it was my second year doing this. So we started preparing, I think, 3 or 4 months before the pageant actually happened. And that's with already having a good background to prepare. So with this, I definitely think that girls that do that, if you think you got it down, continue to practice and don't even, just keep going up until the day. Like start just randomly. Like I would be working out and I would be thinking of questions, or, not so I didn't sound robotic, but what if they asked me if my favorite food was? Well, I'd have a good answer for them. So the preparation is definitely, like everyone else has said, Stephanie and Wendy, the key.
Yes, thank you. That's very true. And there was another question that came in before about how important is the gown to winning a pageant, a national pageant. And I want to just throw out there that to me, the gown should frame the girl, and that it really is not about the statement your gown makes. It's, does the gown emit the vision of a queen, and does it fit your personality and body type? And does it showcase your beauty? Because sometimes the overly fussy gowns, to me, take away from the person who's wearing them. And I think that a lot of the pageant shops are very pushy about selling the high-priced gowns. And I am not a big believer in that. I don't think you have to spend $6,000, and I have seen people spend that kind of money and not win their local pageant. So to me, take your money, invest it in preparing yourself, coaching, whether it be interview or fitness or whatever you need to do, and then stick to staying simple with the gowns so that you and your personality and your beauty shine on stage. So that's my 5 cents about it.
Oh, you know what? Yes, you're right. Real quick, you know, Miss Rhode Island won. She won now. Miss Universe won in a Rent the Runway gown.
Yes.
It was like,
Oh,
yeah, she won.
Gosh.
So
I
that's
didn't know
how she,
that was a Rent the Runway gown.
yeah, actually, when she took Miss Rhode Island, when she was crowned Miss Rhode Island, that was her first pageant.
Oh, that was a Rent the, okay, not the red one.
No, no.
I was like, what?
Pam likes that red one, don't you?
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait a minute, I want to rent that one.
So do I.
But I could, a $6,000 gown for a local pageant? Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And also the other thing I want to mention, too, is in terms of preparation, whether it's a national or international competition, how would I train someone differently? Well, and I'll start with internationally versus nationally. I think you do have to have a flavor for where you are internationally, because Mrs. World was in the United States when she was judged, but if she was going to China or another country, I think her planning and preparation and strategy would be different, because you would assume that at least half of the judges would be from that country. So the first thing that comes into my head and pops into my head is culturally, what's acceptable or what's expected in terms of wardrobe. Also culturally, what is accepted or special in terms of hairstyle or makeup. So you do have to kind of think about where your pageant will be held, what country, and or what state, and go with what the culture is in that place. If you are in Puerto Rico, I think you can go for something a lot more vibrant and more playful and maybe a little more sexy. So think about where you're going, research that area, because chances are at least half your judges are going to be from the local area.
Yeah, we were going to actually discuss that with the international title holders this weekend, because
Right.
many of them compete in the United States. They go from country to country to compete. Like you said, different cultures,
Yes.
different coaches, or different judges.
The other thing is, if I have a client who's crossing over to another state, depending on the state, I may even refer them out. I may even tell them to find a coach for that area, specifically because I think that the flavor changes on wardrobing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the culture of a state, the Midwest, I think, is a little more conservative. If I had a client competing in California, I think they should probably go with a California coach so that they could make sure, and I'm thinking USA system in particular, that they make sure that they're getting the right advice. And maybe politically it could be a good move, because they would know who's entered into the pageant, who's wearing what. They might know the judges, and I'm not saying it's going to help sway the judges, but more about informing the contestant about who the judges are and how that could possibly change an interview. So as much as, you know, I like doing it all. I'm good at doing it all. However, I know where my limitations stand, and I want my client to win. So I have no problem with referring out for those types of things. And then I have clients who are from other states who go back to me. Maybe they coach with somebody who is the national pageant coach, and they'll go work with them for certain things, but they still come back to me because they know, A, I'm going to tell them the truth, and B, I'm really good at paperwork, and C, I'm going to be honest about the gowns they choose and the wardrobe. I'm not trying to sell them anything, and I'm not making any extra money. So be smart about who you choose to give you advice, and what are they making out of that, and what's in it for them, so that you're not overly spending in certain areas, or that you're not being told that something looks fantastic on you because they want to make a sale.
That's a good point, because you're right. I have seen the Southeast is different than Texas. But you know, one thing I do know that's very consistent that I've noticed is the interview is consistent. And when the queen is crowned, across the board, the queens all act the same. And even internationally, it's great. I love it.
That's right. You're right about that. And you know what? You're right about the interview, and I think that is very true. And the essence of who the woman is doesn't change, but sometimes the styling does need to change and adjust based on the locale.
I agree.
Well, Stephanie, do you have anything more to add, Ms. International Super Ms.?
Oh, did you see her on the cover of, go ahead, tell everyone about the magazine cover.
Absolutely, the new magazine, The Queen's Circle. So I'm very excited about that, with my picture with the red crown, the International Super Ms. crown on there. Christina Rowe is the one who put the magazine out, and she will actually be joining us next Tuesday evening. So be sure to tune in to see Christina.
Awesome.
But I want to invite everyone to check out America's Super Pageant at americasuperpageant.com. Come find us on Facebook. Friend me on Facebook, Stephanie McGrain. I'd love to answer any questions you have about the pageant system. You can also contact Bree Heron, my queen sister, America's Super Miss. Either one of us would love to answer any questions you have about the pageant system. And also, I need to share with you very quickly before we wrap up. I was informed of a story, a very sad, tragic story this afternoon from Brittany, my friend Brittany, about two girls that were driving in a car, and the driver did not have her seatbelt on. She was texting. They got into an accident, and she did not survive. The passenger had her seatbelt on. She survived. So please do not text and drive. Do not drive distracted, and always buckle up.
Thank you,
Stephanie. I'm Stephanie McGrain, International Super Miss. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. And Amanda, can you tell everyone how to find out more about your system?
Certainly. You can go to the website, which is MissRoyaltyInternational.com. And also, if you want to ask me to come to anything, or if you want to go to my website, it is just www.amandamathis.com. You can also find me through my Facebook on here. Otherwise, you can also, Wendy, she could probably also get you through to me. But the Royalty International Pageant's great. It has the gold standard. I mean, we have gold in the crown. And, of course, my favorite color, purple. I don't know if you can see it.
Let's see your crown. Go ahead. There. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Love that crown.
I do like that crown. That's gorgeous.
There's a color for everyone.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, Pamela, thank you so much for giving us a forum like this where we can share information with other competitors, women who dream of competing and who dream of holding a national title. You continue to be an inspiration to all ages to want to be their best and make a difference.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank our pageants. We are getting a huge male following, and I can see why these beautiful title holders and coaches. I want to thank you, Wendy, for once again for hosting, and thank you very much, Amanda, for co-hosting. And you can reach us, of course, at show@pageantlive.com or tweet at us, but check out our website. Over 50,000 hits in less than views and then less than 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. www.pageantlive.com. And
yes,
of course,
and also, isn't it going to be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern next week?
Stephanie, she's our coordinator. What are we doing, Steph?
We will be talking to online queens next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to join us Saturday, it will be 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I believe it will be 2,400 hours Greenwich Mean Time if you want to join us with our international queens from queens around the world.
Yeah, who are we having on? We're having a Singapore queen, Australian queen. We're having a queen from the UK, Guatemala.
Yes.
And I wanted to see if Amanda Gomes could come on from South Africa, but she's actually judging a pageant that day.
Pageant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Exciting show, so join us.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.